Hello and thank you for watching. This is SDSC back again with LEGO Transformers U-Turn. For some context, it's been about a month since I built my last LEGO Transformer. Recently, I've just been preoccupied with other creative endeavors. So it was nice to return to this hobby and crank out a brand new carbot. The initial inspiration for this model was the relatively new ring pop piece that LEGO introduced, which I managed to get a hold of a ton of recently. It seems like a super useful piece for LEGO Transformers, so you can expect to see me using it a lot more on future models. In this mode, I imagine U-Turn is somewhere between a sedan and an SUV. Bringing in Donut for a comparison with a standard car, you can see he's slightly larger. All around, I think this is a pretty nice car mode, if a little unexciting. But I think that's kinda perfect for a robot in disguise. Anyways, that's all for car mode, so now it's time to transform. Here we have U-Turn in his bot mode, which is definitely where he shines. I really love his proportions in this mode. Often I go for more out there or weird proportions on my OCs, but sometimes it's nice to take a step back and make a bot with a more standard body type. In this case, I think it really complements the fact that he's a fairly standard car bot in terms of kibble placement. His legs are formed from the rear of the car, with the windshield ending up on his shins. Very similar to G1 Tailgate, or I suppose Prowl. His arms were tucked away under the hood, and he ends up with the front wheels mounted on his wrists. The chest was the first part of the design I came up with. Originally I was going to use those ring pop pieces to connect the pecs to the bumper, but in the end the robot hands ended up being much sturdier. The ring pop pieces ended up being used in the limbs instead. On the topic of making him sturdier, originally U-Turn was going to have a much more traditional head, but I decided to run a bar through his torso for more stability, which necessitated his much more interesting head design. To me, it kinda looks like a gas mask of some kind. And let's bring in Donut one more time for bot mode size comparison. On paper, U-Turn is honestly a pretty generic transformer. He's a car bot with a hood chest and the back of the car for the legs. But I think the way the transformation actually works is rather interesting and makes for a really great looking robot. I especially love the way the chest transforms. But that's all I have for now, so I'll see you next time.